Buenos dias, y'all. RGT85 here. Hope everyone's having a great day. I'm not, because the Knicks are terrible, but we've got some very, very interesting news that I want to talk about today involving, surprise, surprise, the Nintendo Switch. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Well on the way to 420, blaze it, 1,000 subscribers. And without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. Now, of course, during the latest Nintendo Direct, we were introduced to a brand new game that a lot of people said, it's about time that we've seen this. It's about time that this was revealed, because it was something that I feel like a lot of people thought was going to be around the launch of the Nintendo Switch, but instead we of course got 1-2 Switch, which, I mean, that game can burn in a fire. But that is, of course, Nintendo Switch Sports. Basically, the successor to Wii Sports that everyone has been sort of looking for. That was a game that really revolutionized how the Wii was selling. It was one of the best-selling games of all time, because in the United States, it of course came packed in with a Nintendo Wii, but it had, you know, that cultural appeal, that mass appeal that video game companies always strive to get. That casual market really gravitated towards that game. So including Nintendo Switch Sports on the Nintendo Switch now is a very smart decision. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be stupid fun because of the online stuff. You can do bowling and the tennis online. Like, that's a pipe dream. That's, I think, what we always wanted to do on our Nintendo Wii. Now, we all know that there is an upcoming beta test for this game happening this upcoming weekend, but there's something really weird with it, and I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't think it'll make sense to anyone. So looking at the sign-up page for Nintendo Switch Sports, you'll see the following information. To prepare for the release of Nintendo Switch Sports on April 29th, we will be conducting an online playtest to evaluate various technical aspects and help improve the quality of the game. The online playtest software represents a game still in development and is subject to change. You may experience unexpected behaviors or errors when playing. If you have a Nintendo Switch Online paid membership and are interested in taking part in the online test, please read on. And then you look here. By registering to participate in the online playtest, you agree to not share information about the online playtest publicly, including the sharing of screenshots or video footage from the game on social media. So wait a second. This is an open beta for a game that really anyone with a Nintendo Switch can play. You know, you could sign up for it, and then they give you a code that you download to access the game, but you're not allowed to share anything from it. Like, the way they make this sound, like, you're not allowed to talk about this anywhere. Like, if your friend says, oh, did you play the Nintendo Switch Sports beta? Like, you can't say anything, or else Shigeru Miyamoto will come at you with a knife and put it to your throat and be like, don't you say a word. Don't you say a word. Like, what is the point of a beta test? Is to find things like bugs and to experience the games that you're going to be experienced in the long run, but it's not necessarily indicative of the final product. So many companies do things like beta tests and open tests for their games in order for people to check out the games, see what they're all about, and see how the online mechanics are going to work. Obviously, it's not 100% indicative of the final product, and that's why people like make videos and talk about them and share screenshots. But like, what is Nintendo going to do? Go after everyone streaming this and strike them down, or show up at their house with the Nintendo ninjas and kill them? Like, this makes no sense to me. I don't understand why this has to be so secret. If it was something like a very closed beta test, you know, it was only like, let's say 100 people that had access to it, okay, maybe I can understand that. But this is an open beta test, and you're not allowing people to talk. Can we talk about it on the Spawncast this weekend? Is that allowed? So, I don't know. It just Nintendo being Nintendo. The most bizarre things that you can think of, and maybe not even necessarily think of, are included in this game. So yes, if you play Nintendo Switch Sports, don't you dare tell a soul about it, or else Nintendo will come after you, and they will hunt you down, and they might kill you. Before we get into this next topic, I got another thing that's really been on my mind a lot, and it's something that's been bothering me, and that's headphones. Headphones and different earbuds and stuff like that. They're all too expensive. They're all ridiculous. What are we gonna do? Wait. Today's video is sponsored by Raycon earbuds. What are they about? Let's talk. Everybody needs earbuds, but nobody wants to spend the high prices to get the high quality. Well, Raycon everyday earbuds not only feel and sound great, but they're super affordable on your wallet as well. Raycon everyday earbuds feature optimized gel tips to stay secure in your ear and be super comfortable in your ear. And these bad boys aren't falling out either. With up to 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life, the everyday earbuds will last you during those long trips or those long days at work. Plus, like I said, they are super affordable and about half the price of the other brands, and feature a built-in microphone as well. What do you mean you're breaking up with me? We just started. What do you mean? So help support the channel and support your ears by checking out the link in the description box down below, or head on over to buyraycon.com/RGT85 to get 15% off your order and see why Raycon everyday earbuds have over 48,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Huge thank you to Raycon for sponsoring this video. And our final story is once again actually sticking with Nintendo Switch Sports, but there's a big discovery that's been made about this, and it's honestly very interesting, because this is showing the potential near future of the Nintendo Switch and what the system is going to be capable of, and it's things that we thought we weren't going to see on the current model. Now, something that we've talked about a lot on this channel is, of course, DLSS technology, basically artificial upscaling for games, and I always felt that that was going to be something that the Nintendo Switch was going to have to look forward to in the future. It was something that the Switch was going to have to rely on, because Nintendo themselves is never going to get into like that big hardware race again, and really I can understand why at this point. It's almost a law of diminishing returns, but you still want to have like 1080p, you still want to be able to do up to 4K, you still want to have improved frame rates, especially on hardware that games are kind of struggling on. So we all thought that Nvidia was going to come along and implement DLSS technology into the Switch, because I mean, it just makes sense. It's built on a Nintendo, the Nintendo Switch is built on an Nvidia Tegra engine, but it seems like Nintendo Switch Sports actually has a type of artificial upscaling in this version of the game, and it's not what you'd expect it to be. All right, so this discovery was made by Oatmeal Dome, who's someone we've talked about a bunch of times before on this channel, data miner, data leaker, very reputable person. Basically says the following: Switch Sports, the game is using AMD FidelityFX Super Resolution, apparently. This is an upscaling technique developed by AMD, aimed at attempting to make low-resolution images appear higher resolution. Think NVIDIA's DLSS, but very different in how they work eternally. It seems that FSR, which is what we just talked about, is integrated into Switch Sports' version of AGL, one of Nintendo's core graphics rendering libraries. The library was used in past by many first-party games: Breath of the Wild, Odyssey, Splatoon, Animal Crossing New Horizons. This could indicate that FSR may be used in future Nintendo titles. So basically, the AGL was the graphics library that was used in this, but the FSR is now integrated into AGL. For more information on FSR, Digital Foundry has a video, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to look at that. Now, more than likely, you're wondering what this AMD Super FX stuff is all about, and luckily for you, I've got some information to share. All right, so taking a look at AMD FidelityFX Super Resolution website, you can see here basically what this does. Get a boost in frames for your games. AMD FidelityFX Super Resolution, FSR, uses cutting-edge upscaling technologies to help boost your frame rates in select titles and deliver high-quality, high-resolution gaming experience without having to upgrade to a new graphics card. All right, so we can see here that there's a video on the website as well that basically shows you how all of this works. FSR is now available and coming soon. This video is from December, I believe, of 2021. So, you know, a little time has passed in it, but you can see different games that are running with this technology, and they're running better. They're running at higher frame rates and higher resolutions, which, I mean, that's what we've really been wanting from the Nintendo Switch. The games themselves are great, but the problems lie within things like the frame rate, within things like resolutions. And if this is a way to artificially upscale those things on your current system, this is a huge game changer, because we haven't seen it really been used in home consoles. This is stuff that's just been regulated to PC gaming, and PC gamers have been reaping the benefits of things like this already. So it's time for console users to be able to get in on this. You know, I don't like cloud gaming. I don't think cloud gaming is the future. I think artificial upscaling of games is the future, because you're still getting that core experience, but you don't have to worry about reliance on a cloud if the games themselves are able to upscale themselves, and you're able to do things like tinker with them. We of course saw, you know, Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch add in a bunch of graphics modes that you could sort of tinker to make your experience custom suited to what you want. And I mean, look at this, running at God of War, running at 4K over 80 frames per second. Grounded, which, man, that game, I wanted to like that game, but it was not a game for me. Senua's Sacrifice, 100 frames per second at 1440p. Like, this is big stuff. And if Nintendo is able to utilize this technology, which it seems like they are doing, what does it say about the future of the system? So obviously Nintendo Switch Sports isn't going to be a litmus test for high quality graphics or anything like that. I don't think anyone is saying that, but I think that this is something that will really play into the future. What if we're talking about games like Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3, Mario and Rabbids, you know, these games utilizing this FSR technology that AMD made inside of the Nintendo Switch. Like, that's very promising. That's something that you make a system last longer with. You know, obviously you can't go above 1080p. You still can't get 4K unless they made a revised Switch. I mean, you can't really take it off the table because I don't think anyone really expected an OLED to come along. Nintendo themselves have said that the Switch hardware will continue to sell as long as they make, you know, new games for it, and I think that's true. So maybe they could do something like implement new hardware that completely utilizes this, and then that's a whole nother beast though. But even as it stands now, being able to get higher resolution and higher frame rates in your games, that's the most important thing right now for the Switch. The games themselves are great. We just want better performance from them. It's something that we've all been saying. It's something that we've all been asking for. And now for it to be fully realized with this sort of stuff is very, very exciting. So like I said, Nintendo Switch Sports, obviously it's not a graphically intensive game. It's not going to be the game that melts your brain or anything like that, but the technology behind it, that could be very interesting. I wonder if this will be implemented into the version of the game that we're going to play, but we can't talk about, so then we can't even talk about it. You know, if it looks really good, it's like, oh, tough shit, Buster. The Nintendo ninjas are gonna come to your house and hold a knife to your throat, and you're done for, buddy. Alrighty, so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think of everything in the comment section down below, because I think this is very exciting stuff, man. I think this could be a huge win for the Nintendo Switch as far as, you know, essentially just keeping up with the Joneses. That OLED screen looks great. I want to see all games running at the maximum resolution on that 720p, because like that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. I don't want to see no 540 or less stuff on there. No. Give me the goods, Nintendo. Give me the goods. So how do you see them utilizing this technology in the future? Because obviously it's here, and hopefully it's here to stay. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like and share the video. Huge thank you to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Check out the link in the description box down below to get your earbuds. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.